So this fund is a little bit particular. They say they don't follow the herd, and Cindy said that she likes very innovative projects that are led by women entrepreneurs.
Well, actually, that's not exactly what we say. What we actually say is that we don't believe that gender needs to be an investment criterion at all, as long as it's not a barrier. And so all we actually do is open our doors wide to ensure that we have access to all the great entrepreneurs, not just some of them.
Of course, not exclusively. So, our next guest is Prem Abraham. Prem is a Silicon Valley veteran. He was there 40 years ago when it all started. Well, not all started, but this new wave of IT and computer and digital-driven things was starting then. Prem has a brilliant career from Harvard to the DLD conference. He is an advisor and a consultant for tech companies and governments and financial institutions on corporate finance, emerging technologies, and strategic issues. And he also advises governments of developing nations. So thank you very much, you two, for coming from far away today. And there are two fantastic Russian businessmen I would like to present to you. They typically represent this generation of self-made men in Russia. You know, Russia has completely changed for the last 20 years. Russia today is nothing common with what it was a mere 10 years ago. And I'm going to present to you two persons that changed the face of Russia. Boris Kim. Boris Kim created Kiwi, which is spelled with a Q and not a K, because it's spelled the wrong way, the program. Boris Kim has, I think, 80 million friends in Russia, not on Facebook. I mean, he has 80 million people. This is more than 50% of the Russian population that used last year his machines. And these machines are a Russian invention that is spreading around the world now. This is payment terminals, cash collection machines that you can find almost in every corner in Russia. So Kiwi is the leading player in this field. And Boris will tell us how from these physical machines that take payments for utilities, mobile phone bills, or e-commerce purchases, from these physical machines he has been switching recently to electronic currencies, integration with Visa, etc., etc. And of course, our next guest is Maxim Nogotkov. Maxim Nogotkov, he's just become, according to Forbes, one of the world's billionaires. But he was a bad boy when he was young. I heard that he didn't attend all his lessons at school, and instead of that, he started his little business of selling mobile phones and computer things. And then he dropped the college in order to found his companies. So he founded Svyaznoy. Svyaznoy is, this was 10 years ago. And Svyaznoy is the Russian second largest mobile phone and consumer electronics retailer. And not only that, 2 years ago they founded Svyaznoy Bank. And for the last year they have been developing tremendously on the internet with various projects of online sales of goods and services. So it's a full-fledged physical, digital, or click-and-mortar company today. So welcome to you all. So I would like to start this conversation with how finance has been changing the venture industry and its methods and perceptions. Perhaps, let me ask both of you, Cindy and Prem. Thank you. Do you think these, how did IT change your work, your day-to-day work as investors, if you compare it with 10 years ago or something?
Well, actually, 10 years ago, I was an entrepreneur, not an investor, but I can tell you how we use IT today. We leverage the internet in every way known to mankind, from using products like AngelList to identify new deal flow, to managing our deal flow with automated systems, to learning about new opportunities globally that we would never have been aware of previously. It goes on and on. In fact, I think we are in Silicon Valley many times the guinea pigs for the new technologies that might be used globally. And it gives us an opportunity to better understand them as customers and users before we end up asking the entrepreneurs to deploy those on a global basis.
Thank you. What's your opinion, Prem?
The biggest change I've seen in the last 10 years is the liquidity issue for venture capitalists. The venture capitalists went through a couple of cycles, and after the last cycle, the IPO market dried up, and as a result, a lot of the venture capitalists have trouble getting their...
Microphone closer to your lips.
So they've had trouble getting liquidity for their portfolio companies, and as a result, they have to rely on mergers and acquisitions as a way to get exit for their portfolio companies. And I think that's the biggest change that's happened over the years.
Well, thank you. Cindy, you told me that cloud computing changes VC's understanding of things in the tech industry.
Well, I think fundamentally companies that leverage cloud computing to launch their businesses have an opportunity to really have pretty dramatic economies of scale relative to what it took to start a company 10 years ago. I was the founder and CEO of venture-backed startup back in 1998 and 99. And in that time frame, the first $500,000 that we raised was used to buy Oracle databases, Sun Microsystems servers, software development tools, everything that you needed to write your first line of code and build a product. Today, because of the public cloud, not just cloud computing in general, because of the OpenStack technology that exists, you actually have an opportunity for more democratization, if you will, more liberal opportunity for people to be entrepreneurs. They don't need that $500,000 to get started. What they need is a credit card and an account on the internet and access to Amazon or any of the other public cloud providers. What that means from a VC perspective, from an investor perspective, is a couple of things. One, you can raise much smaller funds and put that money to work if you're doing early stage investing. That's what we chose to do with what today in the industry is called a micro VC fund. That term didn't even exist 10 years ago. 5 years ago, people wondered what the heck you meant when you said it, and today it's sort of the hottest, coolest thing to be. So those funds exist for a reason, because there's a gap that exists today between the traditional angel round that might have been the first $500,000 to $1 million an entrepreneur raised, and the $4 to $10 million Series A that's more typical of a larger scale venture capital firm. That's a very dramatic change in the industry that's taking place.
Well, thank you very much. I would like to switch to another aspect, because we don't have a lot of time, unfortunately. So it's a little marathon this morning. Does this work? Can you help me? Oh, yes, here it is. Sorry. I went too far. Here it is. So there are plenty of things happening in the banking industry and the retail banking, which is completely being altered now by the internet, by mobile phones, and by plenty of things. Here you can see a picture of a new next generation, of a new generation branch of Deutsche Bank. I'm not sure the branch around the corner in every city it looks like that, but this is what they're trying to do. And Sberbank in Russia is also the oldest Russian bank that was created in 1842 or something, is also trying to modernize some of their outlets. But here, on the lower side, you can see Simple, that is a startup that has positioned itself as as a disruptive way of doing banking, and they say, we replace your bank. So you're going, even if you are an aficionado of traditional banks, you might be attracted by these purely online disruptive offers. So who will be the winner? My question is, the first question is it a true reinvention according to you, or is it just superficial? I mean, the traditional bank players, do they really have to completely reinvent themselves due to this new competition and these new technologies that come with that? Perhaps Maxim would like to comment on this. Maxim created, well, as I told you, Svyaznoy has a bank subsidiary now, Svyaznoy Bank, that has become, in 2 years, a very strong Russian bank, I think the top 50 or something.
Если можно, буду по-русски.
I will speak Russian. I will answer in Russian. Now, we are number 5 bank in the country from the point of view of credit cards. And answering your question, I can say that in the whole world we can see the reduction of branches, of course, in the world, and with the development of such services as Groupon and retailers understand more and more. They have an access to bank information, and there are some projects which analyze this information, and they allow people who do transactions in shops to give them more interesting projects. For example, card leakings in America. And we have also this project in Russia. We think that some changes are happening in bank sphere. First of all, reduction of physical presence and reduction of costs. What we do, we are somewhere in the middle between. We don't open, real branches, so we use our own shops to sell services. For example, shops which also sell mobile phones. So that's why we cut costs like this. Secondly, we do maximum, we use non-cash services. We give 1 to 3% as cash back to people if they use this. Also, we stimulate people to use non-cash ways of payment, and also we develop some analytical mechanisms which allow merchants to speak with these people and allow them to do offers directly. А почему никто не благодарит? Включено все. Maybe you need to switch the channels.
So credit and debit cards, and people are using this, and they are ready to avoid going to big branch, and so we are trying to squeeze the time people spend in the branches. So issue cards in around 20-25 minutes, so people can go away with current account, with approved credit card, and so it works this way now with us. And we think that the number of branches will steadily go down, not very fast, and so of course these talks already exist for more than 10 years, and probably only now this process will start speed up because of smartphones, and only now smartphones are very unique and very convenient way to pay the bills, to operate with your account. And the project like Simple in the US, and we are very serious about our internet banking, and we have a dedicated team inside the bank developing it, and so in a way we are becoming an internet company, developing software, having more than, I don't know, around 200 people, engineers working, and we believe that this process will now will go much faster now than previous 10 years. Also, with the appearance, with the launch of Google Wallet and the similar projects will start soon in Russia. This year was announced the first one. And NFC technology in smartphones will allow people to make very secure payments with their mobile phones, which hopefully will mean that people will shift more and more from cash payments. And we are, what we also do, we're trying to subsidize in a way. So we, on all our products, on all our credit cards, we give away from 1% to 3% cashback, and work closely with merchants to allow them communicate with their customers via this bill statements. Okay, that's it.
Well, thank you, Maxim. So you are already bank of the future, in a way, because you are trying to catch all these new tendencies, NFCs and everything on Earth.
Yeah, we did it first steps only.
Prem, please tell what you... Yeah.
Maxim, are you subject to the banking regulations?
Yes, of course, we have full banking license. We can take deposits, we can give credits, so we have full banking license.
So in the United States, one of our portfolio companies is a company called Clearmail that's been in the mobile payment space now for about 7 years. They just merged with a UK-based mobile payments company as well, and to create a very large organization globally. And the reason for that was that mobile payments are not just a domestic issue. They are international in nature. They are the requirements in terms of regulation, et cetera, are very similar in terms of security and other things from country to country. It's very interesting.
Prem, so you advise large financial institutions. What would you tell them answering the question of what is remaining of traditional banking services in today and tomorrow's world?
Well, it's an evolving situation with the different banks in countries like India, for example. They're just catching up with the American system of banking. It's highly regulated, and it's I think the American system is being emulated in other countries like Singapore and other emerging economies. So there's no particular advice you can give them because the individual countries have very high regulations in the banking sector.
And probably various market conditions where maturity stages and innovation is more or less possible and in demand.
Yes, and most countries don't share the ecosystem that we have in America. In Silicon Valley, for example, entrepreneurs have quite a few resources to fall back on.
But still, I have this very superficial impression, so maybe you will say I'm wrong, that we shouldn't say that in developing countries there are traditional banking and in advanced countries there are advanced technologies. Sometimes in developing countries you start with things like that, even before developing what the West considers the traditional stages of the banking business.
That is true. I think mobile banking is probably more advanced in countries like Singapore and even Korea than in the US.
Okay. We're going to look now as an example of country that is very interesting from a technology point of view because it's on the one side very advanced and on the other side not that advanced. This country is Russia. So, just a minute. Does it work? Or I don't know how to. So here is what I call the Russian paradox. So on the one hand, you have two graphs. One showing how Russia is still a cash economy. And it's even more a cash economy than India, the United States, or Mexico. And this is why, by the way, Boris's cash machines have developed so well, because No one, 10 years ago and even now, people do not pay for the mobile phone bills through their bank accounts or something, but they pay in cash. So Boris invented these machines originally 10 years ago in order to collect cash to pay for mobile phone bills. And then it has grown to a more diversified thing. So this is a cash economy. The other example is the internet banking penetration in Russia, which is, maybe you cannot see it from where you are, but it's 6% or 7% last year in Russia, against 10 times as much in advanced countries. So in these two examples, there's a little nuance, of course. Internet is very advanced in Russia. Russia is the largest European market for internet penetration, but internet banking is lagging far behind other countries. So there are two examples where we have Russia as a sort of example of retardation in this modern finance and payment industry. But two other examples that show us that they're also able to do fantastic things. Maxim gave us an example of a technology advanced bank, his bank, Svyaznoy Bank. Look at the bank card over there. It is not only a bank card from MasterCard in cooperation with the St. Petersburg-based bank. It also provides an access to the e-government platform that has been built, that is being built by the Russian government. So with this card, you can not only pay, but you can also have access to plenty of government services online with secured signature and things like that. And the other example of cutting-edge technology is provided by our friend Boris and his company. Just a minute. Well, Kiwi. Yes. So here it is. These are the cash terminals in the middle, and you have around all the different features that are around it, with a virtual Visa card, a plastic Visa card, money transfer with Visa, mobile applications, electronic currencies that is named Kiwi Wallet or Kошелек. So, Boris, first of all, could you tell us in a few words how this Russian invention, how you have turned it progressively in a sort of multi-channel, very technological business?
Thank you. I think I am the only person who prepared presentation. And could you switch to my computer? I'll try to be very, very short. А можно переключить на мой компьютер? Можно переключить на мой? Sorry. Вы видите, пожалуйста, я тут уберу на экране. Окей. Although Kiwi, as you can see from this picture, is an integral part of Russian internet, vice versa, Kiwi has been developed, influenced by technology. Yes. I'm sorry. I will try to do.
For those who are coming to Moscow for the first time, you probably know
We started as a purely offline company selling scratch cards. But then we decided to switch to a more technological way of topping up your mobile phone, like electronic voucher. But still it wasn't a very convenient way because of fixed value. Then we invented direct topping up of your mobile phone through cash-operated point of sales. And then, several years ago, we invented self-service kiosk, which is now our most successful product. Now you can not only pay through kiosk, but also make money remittances, use it as an advertising platform, and this case is proved to be internationally recognized. Now Kiwi kiosk is operated in more than 20 countries, including CIS countries. But of course, although cash is a king now in Russia, the situation will be changing. Of course, cash will be substituted to a certain extent, at least, by non-cash payments like traditional banking instrument, internet bank, mobile bank, bank cards. So to meet this challenge, we launched Kiwi Wallet. Kiwi Wallet is electronic wallet with a mobile telephone number as your identifier. And Kiwi Wallet uses different source of funds like as a money tube, money pipe. And also Kiwi use different interfaces. So you are platform or technological independent. You can pay through mobile, through web, through special application for social network, or even through application for smart TV, like Samsung. And Adrien already told that last year we launched a product with Visa, which is Kiwi Wallet Visa card. So it's Visa card, which is directly linked to your e-money account. It's a very easy way to go offline. So strange enough that we start as a pure offline company, and we return to the market as offline company. And I'd like to share with you some lessons which we learned from our development. The first lesson is growth through cannibalization, because we managed to launch a new product just before the previous product started to decline. And this secured us with a steady growth. Second, we are going to live in the times of cloud money. People want to use their money whenever they are, whatever device they have. Of course, people get in mobile. It's not only another level of security and another level of convenience, it's also another level of service. Because using mobile, you can offer your customer geolocation services like coupons, like discounts, and so on. And of course, social media changed a lot our way of doing business. I think that today payments, it's not about payment itself. It's about context. It's about social context of our payment. If you are in a pure payment, you will suffer from reduction of your margin. That's a big problem. And to address this problem, payment service providers should think how we can monetize payment context, social payment context. That's all for my presentation.
Well, thank you, Boris, and thanks to all. I think it's time we allowed our guests and attendees to ask questions about this future of finance and payments.
Hi, I'm Cindy Gallop, and I'm extremely interested in the future of money, so I'm delighted to be at this panel. I'm interested because I have a startup venture launching soon, the nature of which means that the old world order financial system will not work with me. And by the way, Maxim, I'd love to talk to you after this, if I may. But I've therefore done a huge amount of research into fintech startups and the future of money and payments. And I see enormous disruption actually for every single sector, given everything that you guys have talked about. For example, my background is advertising, which historically has been an industry where you advertise to somebody and then you send them somewhere else to pay for what you've made them want. Whereas now, with mobile payments, you can actually advertise and transact simultaneously. And so I would love to ask the panel, all of you, what would you love to see completely disrupted by everything you are doing in terms of other industries that currently are so mired in the old world order of financial systems and payments that they can't see the new ways to operate? I'm just very interested in the potential that you see with the work that you're doing to actually disrupt in many other areas. Does that make sense as a question?
Thank you.
I think we explicitly set as our aim when we launched the bank 2 years ago that we would like to, that people in Russia would avoid to use cash money at all. And we're doing everything to substitute cash money with electronic, with credit debit cards and with smartphones. This is what we are looking for. In terms of other industries, I think it will be very close link with all kind of discounts, coupons, all merchant advertising inside mobile phones. This would be very closely linked in the future, from my point of view.
I would say that very important disruptive innovation in payment will be social payment network, as I already said. Because social networks know about us a lot of information, and they can use this information to offer discounts, to offer goods, to offer new services.
Thank you.
Yeah, probably two areas that are of interest to us that we've seen a lot of activity in recently. One is around just the analytics behind these transactions, allowing the merchandisers, the suppliers, the retailers themselves to better understand their customer, and as a result have appropriate inventory, have better ideas about what their offer management process ought to be, etc. So the analytics behind the data. And then I think the second piece that is of interest is really how to take that all the way back into the back end of the system, into the supply chain management area as well.
So I'd like to see an improved wire transfer mechanism, because that's one of the biggest problems we face in most of our transactions. And even big banks like Bank of America, they have very antiquated systems.
Thank you. Another question? Okay, we have our next session that will be presented by Katya Gaika of the Skolkovo Foundation. So thank you very much for coming here, and
thank you.